Okay, hello everyone. It's great to have you all on board. It's another time with Tutor IO Classic Tutorial, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the continuation of the course ACC411, and talked about it happens to be the very second class, our very first class. We talked about a couple of things. So according to the thumbnail, suppose we have to take our bearing from mismanagement, right? The mismanagement of money, although according to the material, according to the course material, it's called money laundering. All right, but we're just trying to be careful of what we use, the words we use. All right, like I usually say, it's a disclaimer: we don't encourage violence, we don't encourage fraud, all right, or laundering money. Basically, all what we do on the stream is to educate, all right, nothing more, nothing less. For those of us who are new to the stream, let's ensure to join the private class where we walk you through all your courses, all right, without leaving any stone unturned. How do you get to become a member of the private class? All you need to do is just head straight to our official website, www.tutorial.net. Use the WhatsApp button on the top right hand corner to send us a direct message. With this being said, let's hop into today's class. Okay. So we have ACC 411. And based on our last discussion, okay, we talked about regulation of audit and assurance service. And basically, this is what the course is all about. Okay? The course speaks a lot about auditing, right, and assurance services. So we talked about who an auditor is, what is auditing, and what is assurance service in our last class. In line with that today, we'll talk about mismanagement of money. Let's quickly talk about the sources of regulation of the auditors, the accountants, all right, and practitioners of what we refer to as assurance services. Now, speaking of the, are we together? Speaking of the source of regulations, regulations of audit and assurance services is effected. So like I said, before we talk about the mismanagement, let's quickly touch on regulation, all right, of audit and assurance services. My goodness. Wow. Okay. That is quite unfortunate. We just have to switch to the alternative energy or alternative option, which is the use of our ring light. We apologize for this inconvenience. It's quite unfortunate. The axis, which I currently have my residence, so we've been suffering from the supply of energy, and this has taken a toll on the consuming of gas. All right, irrespective of what the situation might be, just have to make do with what we have at our disposal. Now, let's go back to what we have here. It says sources of regulation. Now, regulation of audits and assurance services is effected through legal regulations. All right, legal regulation. Now, most countries, including Nigeria, have legal requirements associated with some assurance provider. What are we trying to say is that you can't just wake up as a nobody and say you want to start providing um, assurance services, or you just want to be an auditor. Even though you are a professional auditor, you have the certification, there are still certain legalization, all right? There are certain requirements from the law, all right? The law must also certify you that yes, you are qualified to offer that service, all right? That's one of the sources of regulation. Example, legal requirements are found in CAMA, Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004. We also have the likes of ICANN. ICANN must certify you, all right? Talking about the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, all right? We have that as that. Now, we also have ethical regulation, all right? Ethical regulation. Even after you are being certified that yes, you can provide these services. Now, your ethics on the job is also being regulated, it's being watched. Your ethics on the job is being watched closely. Okay, so we have auditors are given ethical guidance by the professional bodies. So ICANN, IFAC as well, International Federation of Accountants, also regulates, looks into your ethics. You know, when we say ethical behavior, how you present your services, all right, your mode of dressing, your mode of communication, and lots more. So we also have professional regulation. Auditors are required to carry out audits according to professional standards. Because you're an auditor certified by the law and you have your ethics in check, all right, the way you carry out your, definitely, auditors are different from each other. All right, Mr. A could be an auditor, Mr. B could be an auditor, Mr. C could be an auditor. All right, different tribes, different background. All right, but irrespective of that, as an auditor, there are certain professional requirements you must meet up with. All right, there are certain professional standards you must meet up with. Just like we have lawyers now, you can't just wear short knicker and t-shirts, all right, to the court. All right, when you have a case, there's a dressing. Even as a judge, you are expected to dress in a certain way. As a doctor, you cannot just go into the operation room exposing yourself. So there are professional standards. In school then, I remember when I was running my national diploma, every Monday, NABAMs, yes, we NABAMs, there's a way we dress. We put on white trousers and white shirt and tuck in and the black tie. All right, that's our NABAMs dress on Monday. That's the Department of Business Administration, the dressing code for us on Monday. So there's a professional regulation. All right, so professional regulation, we have auditors are required to carry out audits according to the professional standards. All right, and these are made available based on the laws guiding their profession. So we have that as that. So let's move on to the types of standards. Okay, we have when applied. All right, we have international standard on auditing. In the audit of historical financial information, international standard on review, all right, engagements. Speaking of the review of historical financial information, now, what are we talking about here? When we talk about standards, there are certain bodies that provide these standards. We have the likes of ISAS, all right, that is the International Standards on Auditing. All right. We also have the International Standard on Review Engagements. as well as we have the International Standard on Assurance Engagement. All these are bodies that provide standards when it comes to the profession of auditing. So let's now let's take some consideration. All right, considerations of laws and regulation in an audit of financial statements. Consideration: what the law of consideration of okay, we have the legal. Are we together? Awesome. The audio is perfect. Now, as I was explaining, all right, I said something, all right, about the consideration of laws and regulation. Okay, want to quickly consider the consideration of laws and regulation in an audit of financial statement. What are we talking about here? What does the law, all right, see as a yardstick, all right, or as a proper and acceptable means, all right, of the auditing of financial statements? Now, let's consider some few points. We have A, obtain a general understanding of the applicable legal and regulatory framework of how the entity is complying with that framework. Now, let's put this correctly. Constitution of the law, all right? Constitution of the law and regulation, right? In an audit, in an audit of financial statement or financial position. First, it says, obtain a general understanding of the applicable legal requirement or legal regulation framework. Now, you as an auditor in an organization, all right, the law expects you, okay, to have an understanding as a so-called professional auditor. It is expected that you have this understanding of the application, of the legal application and regulation, all right, of the framework that guides your profession. Now that you understand that, it is now your responsibility to help the entity comply with that framework. All right? It is your responsibility as an auditor who have a proper understanding of the application, all right, the legal application and requirement of auditing and the framework. All right? So let's put something down. The legal understanding, let's put it like that, understanding the legal, let's put it, understanding the application, no, the legal application and framework, understanding the legal application and frame, the legal application and framework, all right, of auditing and aid the entity, all right, aid the entity compliance to the framework, all right. So understanding the legal application and framework, okay, of auditing and aid the entity compliance to this framework. So it is not in their own, it is not in their doing to understand how these things work. But as a professional, all right, we have professional regulation. So as a professional, you should be able to not only understand the framework and how it works, but also aid entities compliance to that framework. And as I remember, we said something about auditing. We said it is an independent, all right, investigation of books of accounts. No interference, no influence from anybody whatsoever. It is to be done independently. So we have that as that. I want us to move a little bit at fast pace. So we have that as well. Let's go straight to the topic for today, which is the definition of money laundering. All right. So I'm going to switch the word money laundering to money mismanagement. So please, I need to pay attention to that. I will be switching the word money laundering to money mismanagement. So when I say mismanagement, please understand that I'm talking about money laundering. Okay. So let's quickly talk about that. Our time is fast spent. Now it says here, all right, let's just take this one precise and straightforward definition. Just a moment. Now, it says money mismanagement is a process by which money earned from illegal activities. And this is why I encourage us to join the private class. Because here on YouTube, a lot of things are being restricted. What we do is just 30% here on YouTube. The remaining 70% is given to people in the private class, students in the private class. All right. So we have money mismanagement. It is the process by which money earned from illegal activities. So it's a process. The process, I'm trying to make my handwriting legible enough because of the poor illumination in the room. The room is not so illuminated, not properly illuminated. We have the process by which, right, money earned through, all right, or earned from or through illegal activities. Illegal activities, all right, is transferred and transformed so that it appears to have come from illegal source. All right, is transferred. Okay, that should be RR, transferred or transformed. Transferred and not or, transferred and transformed so that it appears to have come from a legal source. I think I need to adjust the camera a little bit so we can see things properly. Sorry about that. Okay, I think it's better now. All right, that's what it means. I think this definition is self-explanatory. Money earned from illegal source. All right, the activities involved in changing to become traceable, because when it's traceable, the source can be arrested. But in order not to get arrested, a lot of things goes into trying to transfer and transform, all right, this illegally or ill-made money into a legal source of making the money. So we have that as that. Okay. It says here that there are stages in money mismanagement. There are basically 3 stages. Okay, I think I should put stages. All right, there are 3 stages. The first one is placement. Okay, when we talk about placement, it involves physically introducing or placing illegally obtained money into the financial system, all right, or retail economy. Physically, like taking the raw money into the economy, all right, probably by giving it to the bank, saving it in the bank or something, but we are going physical here. This includes lots of small cash deposits. So I'll say cash deposits into numerous bank accounts. Maybe 100,000 naira now split into 10,000 naira, saved into different accounts. They were talking about placement. All right. So we also have layering. Layering here means, all right, separation of illegally obtained money from its source, all right, through a series of financial transactions that makes it difficult to what? To trace, all right, the origin. Like I said earlier, this is a disclaimer. Everything we do on the stream, all right, is basically to educate. We don't encourage money mismanagement, all right, basically to educate as we follow the course material, all right, provided by the university. Now, at this stage, a lot of activities goes on, all right, like taking advantage of legitimate financial mechanism in the attempt to hide the source of their fund, all right. Now, this includes the transfer, example now, transferring the money through multiple bank accounts, all right, transferring money through multiple bank accounts, making numerous purchases or sales or investments in a lot of things, invest here, different names, all right. So that is it with layering. separation of illegal money through legitimate financial source. And the last one, which is integration. Okay, integration means converting the illicit funds into a seemingly legitimate fund. This is where you buy properties, you buy cars, you go into real estate, you buy assets. The moment you buy properties now, who wants to ask questions? Where do you get money to buy these properties? It's my business. I did a business at a certain time and it paid me and I got it. All right. So integration means converting the illicit funds into a seemingly legitimate fund. So we have that as that. So we're going to call it here a wrap here for today. And in our next class, we'll be talking about, all right, we'll be talking about the financial counsel. All right. So as an accountant, as an auditor, there are certain requirements, there are certain guides, policies that expect, all right, the accountant or the auditor to expose the mismanagement of funds, and there are certain protection they enjoy under the law. So all of this we'll be discussing in our next class. Thank you very much, everyone, and we apologize for the shortage of energy supply. I look forward to see you all in subsequent tutorials. Bye for now.